Good morning, everyone. Today is the 10th of December. I just finished showering and just thought I'd pop on here and say hi. Just want to tell you that just yesterday was a horrible day for me. I don't know why. It was just not a good day. I woke up feeling great. And just everything was great. And then I went to the coffee shop and don't know. Every time I go to the coffee shop, I always think of my boys. I guess I imagine them running in, hugging me. Connor driving to Santa Fe and just opening the door and just and then, like, when I'm in the coffee shop, I always kind of make a point to write to my children. And you know what? There are times that I'm not in the mood. To write. You know, I'm like, well, what am I going to write about? What do I have to say that they haven't already heard? But I try to write, or I try to make a video. Just try to tell them that I'm thinking about them. I know that they're brainwashed. I know that they are. But my kids don't think they're brainwashed. They think my grandparents are giving me all these things. So they must love me, right? Because they're giving me all these things. My mother must be a horrible person. Boys, I was 14 once. I was your age once. The difference between me and you is I didn't grow up with everything. I never thought I was missing anything because the people around me, children in my school, they didn't have much either. So there was no competition for design or anything. I wanted to take you to yard sales when you were younger so that you could learn the value of things. That you would learn that things are not handed to you. When they give you things, what are they teaching you? They're teaching you that you don't have to work for anything. That life will just give you things. And I wanted to teach you that that's not how it is. That doesn't make me a mean mom. Just because I never wanted the big birthday parties. That does not make me a mean mom. I just grew up differently. I learned different values. I grew up in a farm in Ireland. We never had horses. I always wanted horses. I remember when I was younger and the horse and hounds used to come around. I used to imagine myself riding those horses. One time it was raining. They all gathered in the cow house. We milked the cows. My mom wouldn't let me out. She was afraid I was going to get kicked by one of the horses. I was one of 10 children. You have 6 aunts and 3 uncles. You could have met in October if you would come home with me. You could have met everybody. You could have met all your nieces and nephews. You could have met them all. I'm just changing the light. I just want you to be good boys. I don't want you to grow up with hatred in your heart. I don't want you to be anything like your father. You might think your grandparents are the best. I thought they were the best too. I thought I was so lucky. I didn't know underneath it all that they had such evil intentions. The warning signs were there, but I ignored all of them. He never talked good about his ex-wife, so why would he ever talk good about me? He was a complete mama's boy. She never liked me. She wanted to be involved in everything. When his mother and his father got divorced, and all the bad things were said back and forth, I stood by him. When his uncle committed suicide, I stood by him. When his mother accused his father of molesting my children, I stood by him. I thought that was my place as a wife, to stand by him. Then on Father's Day 2016, I saw what he was truly about. I saw him throw everything away. I saw them put their plan into action right before my eyes. Everything that I had believed in up until that point just disintegrated. Do you know what it's like to trust somebody, to take your vows seriously, and then to see that person take his father's side against you? To allow his father to call the police and throw me in jail for putting my kids for putting Connor in the corner. Now that everybody sees that, I don't really care anymore. I've had so much hurt. They want you to be medicated so that you become a different person. You don't feel what you're feeling. I think when you get to feel what you're feeling, you become stronger. I couldn't stop crying yesterday. Just couldn't. talking to a complete stranger. Just, it was a mess. I have good days and I have days that are not so good. The good days is when I try to put everything in the back of my mind. I thought, going to school, getting 2 degrees, I'd be able to get a job. But you just don't forget. You'd have to be hypnotized to put all the hurt behind you. I have so much hurt, betrayal, hurt. How do you learn to trust again? When someone hurts you, when someone takes your children, and then goes to court and just trashes your name through the court, trashes you as a mom, trashes you to your children, makes your kids believe that you are worthless. I know that I'm not worthless. I know that I've inherited everything my mom was. His mother will never be anything that my mom was. She will always continue to pamper him. He can never do any wrong in her eyes. She knows. Ginny Vera Schulte knows what her son has done, and she stood by him. She knew the mother I was, but she stood by him. They wouldn't have those grandchildren if it wasn't for me. And for them to disrespect me in the way that they did, to throw me away like I was garbage, to trash me to my children, to make my kids, my sons believe that their mom is worthless. What kind of people do this to children? What kind of people do this to kids? They don't give the children a choice to make the kids decide for themselves. They take that choice away. They have been grooming my children since my son was 6 years old. Now he's 14. They've been grooming him to make him believe their mom is a drug addict, alcoholic, that she's just this horrible person. I went to court. I went through so many lawyers and they just kept wanting more and more money. If I had had a lawyer for the 8-hour hearing, I went to the state bar hoping to find a lawyer. That lawyer wanted $13,000. I'll give you those people's name. I told them, I said, shame on you. I said, people don't go to the state bar to pay $13,000. They wanted a $3,000 retainer, and then they wanted another $8,000. And then at the end, I ended up having to pay $6,000 anyway. I had to pay $3,000 to retain another lawyer, and then I had to pay $3,000 to pay his lawyer for one day. I was told that I was wasting the court's time, that I had no proof, that I couldn't prove anything. How can I prove anything when I'm cut off from my children? Where am I supposed to get the proof? They won't allow my kids to testify. So basically, Paul Brian Baca and Vera Ginny Schulte from a park above. That's no humanitarian, by the way. And his father, ex-police chief Samuel Baca, they can make up any story they want. Because the court is never going to let the kids testify. So they can say whatever they want. The children didn't testify whether they saw Jack Scully. He said he saw them during the pandemic in person. There's no record of it. He said that their father wasn't in the room. How do I know? And he said that Connor, Caden and Colin, told him that I abused my kids. I know the truth. My boys know the truth. They know if this is true or if this is not true. I have it in a recording because I try to record everything. Record all the lies Samuel Baca told Armin Karian. There's no low that these people wouldn't steep to. People like, how did they get away with this? They got away with it because there was no questions asked. I wasn't even allowed to testify. When I didn't have a lawyer, Stephen Klump never let me testify, rebump any of the statements that he was making. Yeah, they just made statements and he just accepted them. He had the nerve to tell me that I could see my children every Sunday. Stephen Klump, every Sunday, from 12 to 6. In Rio Rancho. And then he threw it all out like it was nothing. I could have been seeing my boys every Sunday. They said they missed the hearing because they never got notice of the hearing. So everything I got awarded, everything that I was so happy about and overjoyed about, it all got thrown away like I was garbage. I had to live in my car for 2.5 years. He got the house. He said he made all these repairs to the house. He wanted to give $13,000 worth of repairs to his mother. He said he bought a dishwasher that he never bought. I had to pay half the repairs for the house that I never had any say in. I went through about 5 different lawyers. Every one of them wanted more and more money. They wanted between $300 and $400 an hour. I'm lucky if I make that in a week. They didn't care where you got the money. If you didn't have the money, they didn't want to represent you anymore. I've called over 100 lawyers. None of them wanted to help. Who's going to go against ex-police chief Samuel Baca? Who's going to go against him? They're like royalty in Albuquerque. Samuel Baca and Vera, Ginny, Schulte. They're like royalty. People don't want to go against them. What are they going to gain by siding with me? Nothing. They've done everything they can to hurt me. Everything they can to damage my relationship with my children. I was treated like garbage. I was treated like I was a drug addict. I was worthless. I was thrown out in the street. Then he tried to take the car from me. And he tried to accuse me of breaking into the house. Then he got a police report. The cop went along with that. What he never told the cop was that he had kicked in the front door of the house. And then he told the court that he had to kick it in that the children had at school. It was on a Saturday. So why would they have school? Everything was my word against his. I was an emotional mess. I thought you go to court, you tell the truth, but the court didn't care. Stephen Clump didn't care. Armin Karian didn't care. I had to pay Armin Karian. He got $4,000 for that 8-hour hearing. I had to pay half. So I would have had to pay the lawyer $13,000, and then I had to pay $2,000 to Armin Karian. And then I ended up having to pay $6,000 to fight all the objections. And they said that I had no proof, that I was wasting the court's time. Eventually, I didn't have any more money. I have to pay him child support, which I have no problem paying. But I can't even get to see the boys. I practically depleted everything. I can't find a job because I'm a mess. I can't talk to anybody. Don't want to talk to counselors. I've gone through so many counselors. What I need is a lawyer. Somebody that can stand up for you. Somebody that's not afraid to go against Samuel Baca and Vera Ginny Schulte. They're fake people. They have the persona, this image that they need to withhold, but they're fake. They would not have those grandchildren if it wasn't for me. For them to go to the lengths that they have to hurt me and to hurt my relationship. I had an amazing relationship with Caden and Colin and Connor. Now I have nothing. Now they don't even want to talk to me. They run away from me. He's got them trained like little puppies. If you see your mother, run away. He's filling their head with poison. He's been doing that since my youngest was 6 years old. Just filling their heads with poison against their mom. Stephen Clump. Armin Karian. Deborah Ramirez. And Deborah Lamar. They all supported him. They want to make their job as easy as possible. So they pick the weakest. And then they push that person away. Children are supposed to have both parents to love and nourish them. They don't survive with just one parent. Psychologically, they're always going to have that void in their heart. I know my boys have a lot of questions. I know they have a lot of anger. I know they have a lot of hurt. Connor, Caden, and Colin, if you want to know the truth, you need to talk to your mother. Paul, Brian Baca, and his parents, they have no right to tell you that you're not allowed to talk to your mother. Why are they telling you that you're not allowed to talk to me? Do you tell your teachers that they're telling you that you're not allowed to talk to your mother? Do you know that that's psychological abuse? Them telling you that you're not allowed to talk to your mom? Do you read any of my letters that I put on my Instagram? Do you listen to any of my videos? You know, I used to write you letters all the time. But I knew they would never go to you. I knew that he would never give them to you. He's happy to take the money, throw away my letters, throw away all my school supplies. I bet you haven't seen a picture of me the last 8 years. 7 years. Bet he threw away all the wedding pictures. You know he was married before. She couldn't have children. Nicole Ross was her name. I tried to reach out to her. She didn't want anything to do with it. Nobody wanted anything to do with it. You know, if I won the lottery, everybody would be reaching out to me. But when you're going through garbage times, nobody wants any part of it. Nobody wants to do anything. The people that can help won't do it unless they get paid. I don't want to hear sorry anymore. I thought if I cried enough, then I wouldn't need to cry anymore. I thought if I put my story out there, then people would listen. I knew I'd get a lot of hatred. Why doesn't she see her children? What does she do? She must be a horrible mother. You tell me why prisoners in prison get to see their children and I can't see mine. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I have 2 degrees, I can't get a job. I suffer really bad depression from everything that's happened. I have enormous psychological damage from everything that I've gone through. All the hurt, all the anger, all the shame, feeling worthless, not being able to be there for my boys, not being able to hug my kids, not being able to kiss my children, not being able to go to school and talk to their teachers. All the things normal mothers get to do, I wasn't allowed to do. I was treated like I had a disease. I had something that would be contagious. They had to stay away from me. They had to protect the kids. I have so much hurt. So much hurt. I use my platform as a way to try to just kind of deal with hurt, deal with anger, deal with abandonment. Because you just don't get abandoned by his family, you get abandoned by your friends too, or people that you thought were your friends. When I was homeless, nobody wanted anything. You know, they could only deal with it for a short while. Then they just carried on about their lives. I have so much hurt. There's so much. I worry about my boys all the time. If I die tomorrow, I want my kids to know I did everything. I did everything. I reached out to them. He threatens to throw me in jail if I try to have any relationship with my children. The last time I went over there, he turned the hose on me. They call the police all the time. He tries to get restraining orders, trespassing. He tells all the neighbors how horrible I am. And then I have to see strangers that I don't even know telling Paul Brian Baca how beautiful his children are. They don't say, "Where's the mom?" How come, children, you don't get to see your mother? It's like I'm dead. can anyone do this to the mother of the kids? What kind of a father does this to children? What kind of a father denies children the right to be with their mom and tells the children, you're not allowed to talk to your mother? What kind of a father does that? You can imagine the husband he was. He was nice to me as long as I was pregnant. As soon as I wasn't pregnant anymore, he didn't want nothing to do with me. He had no respect for me. Connor, Caden, and Colin, if you want to know the truth, you need to reach out to your mom. He cannot tell you. Your father, your grandparents, nobody can tell you that you're not allowed to talk to your mother. If you want to know the truth, you're not going to lose anything. They turned their backs on you, let them. They're mad with you for wanting to talk to your mother. So what? Don't let them damage you the way they have damaged me. Don't let them do that. You need your mom, and I need you. I didn't give birth to 3 children. Go through labor, breastfeed, do all of that. To be alone for the last 7 years. Not even Christmas, Mother's Day, my birthday. My children never reach out to me. They're so brainwashed into believing whatever poison he's feeding them. They want nothing to do with their mom. Basic human rights like to love and hug and kiss your children, to be able to talk to your kids. I used to be able to lie down with my boys at night, read them stories. I was a mother. I had a purpose. And then all that was gone. Stephen Clump took all that away. Armand Carrion took it all away. Deborah Ramirez, the court clinic. But prisoners can see their children, but I can't. Drug addicts can be with their kids, but I can't. My children can be in a hospital. He doesn't have to tell me. He can take my children out of the country. He doesn't have to ask my permission. Yet I can't even talk to my boys. My boys live 1 hour away from me. I'm in Santa Fe, there in Albuquerque, and I cannot have any communication. You tell me how that's right. He's over there, Paul Brian Baca and his parents, poisoning my children's minds against their mother. Nobody's doing anything to stop him. The teachers don't ask any questions. He's telling my children, him and his parents, they're not allowed to talk to their mother. Boys, why are they telling you that? What are they telling you that's going to happen if you talk to me? They're telling you they're threatening to throw your mother in jail, just trying to have a relationship with you, your father and your grandparents. They threatened to throw your mom in jail, just like they did before, trying to have a relationship with you, for doing basic things that mothers want to do with their kids. I don't get to pick you up from school. I don't know what your grades are. I can't dress you. Sure, you pick out your own clothes. They want you in designer clothes. They want to buy you the latest electronics. They'll do anything so that you won't have a relationship with me. I can't tell you the pain, and I can't tell you the heart. the psychological damage. Can you imagine going through this for 7 years, going to court over and over again, only to be disappointed, to drive 1 hour from Albuquerque back to Santa Fe and to cry the whole way, over and over again, and then to have to live in your car. But I stayed, Connor, Caden, and Colin. I stayed. I never gave up on you. Because I wanted you to know the truth. I wanted you to know you have a mother. You value all those presents, all those latest phones, the electronics. You value all of that more than you value a relationship with your mom. Because that's what they're doing. They're feeding your mind, poisoning you against your mother, making you believe whatever they're telling you. God forbid if you ever reach out to your mother. What are they going to do? What are they going to do if you reach out and you try to talk to your mother? Caden, you know that your father and your grandparents, they told the court that I was harassing you, that you wanted nothing to do with me. You know how it felt when I went over there the last time. My own son wouldn't even come to me. I was chasing a child that I didn't even know. I thought he was Caden. I kept calling his name over and over. I said, Caden, Caden. Eventually the child turned around and he says to me, he said, I'm not Caden. I can't even tell you the hurt, the psychological damage, the hurt, the pain, the torture it is from not seeing your children, from not allowing your basic right to have a relationship with your children, from being a mother one day to being nothing the next. And through it all, you hold on to hope. Because at the end of the day, hope is all you have. Your so-called friends turn your back on you. The court turns their back on you. Lawyers want nothing to do with you. I have never turned my back on my boys. I have never turned my back on my children. I've done everything I can. I've wrote them letters, put them on my Instagram. I reached out to lawyers over and over again. They kept wanting more and more money. They wanted $5,000 retainer, between $300 and $400 an hour. I don't have that money. I have no relationship with my children. I live 1 hour away and I can't even pick up the phone and talk to my son. They don't reach out to me. They run away from me. Do you know how that feels as a mother? Not to be able to hug and kiss your kids, not to be able to encourage your children. Instead, you have children that run away from you. You have teachers that get security, so you leave because you're not on the list. Every year goes by and it's one more year. I just want my children to know that I've done everything. I have done everything I can. But if they don't reach out to me, there's nothing I can do. I have nothing to give to the court. You're going to allow your father and your grandparents' boys to continue to do this to your mom? Are you going to allow that? Are you going to stand up and say enough is enough? I'm going to find out the truth for myself. I'm going to see if everything these people have been telling me is true. These people I trust. Connor, Caden, and Colin, you owe it to yourself to find out the truth for yourselves. Stop listening to whatever they're feeding, whatever poison they're feeding you. You owe it to yourself to find out the truth. You deserve a relationship with your mom. If he's capable of hurting your mother, and he's capable of poisoning your minds, he's capable of anything. That's what a true narcissist is. A narcissist doesn't care about anybody else. He wants you to be just like him. Caden, don't be like him. Colin, don't be like your father. Have a heart. Connor, I hope you're still doing your art. I remember when you used to look up all the countries, all the different states. I still want to take you to see the John Hancock building. I always wanted to encourage you. I know you have a void in your heart, and I know you think your mom doesn't care about you. I care about you. I care about each of my children. I think of you every single day. I make these videos because I want everyone to know what these people have done, even if the people don't care. I want to spread awareness of what parental alienation is, how it affects people, parents, and how it affects children, and the psychological damage that it does, and how horrible the court deals with custody. The fact that children should be able to testify to lies. If a parent makes up stuff that's not true, the children should be allowed to testify. I never gave up on my boys. I hope I never will. I put my story out there because I want people to know the truth. I never know when I'm ever going to hear from my children. I never know when my sons are ever going to reach out to me. I still have a tiny bit of hope. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit of hope. Connor, you turn 18 next year. You can't. As soon as you move out of his house, he can't control you anymore. The longer you stay in his house, the more he can control you. And the more he can poison your mind. I would love to be able to have a relationship with you and your brothers. All I ever wanted was what was best for you. I wanted to give you the same love that my mom gave to me. I wanted to be there for you and your brothers through all your hard times. Never wanted you to grow up with hatred in your heart or a void in your heart because you have all these questions. I want you to be able to reach out to me anytime, day or night. I'm never going to be mad at you, Connor, Colin, or Connor. All I want to do is be there for you and answer your questions. If you open that door, you'll see that everything that you've been told has been lies. All the evil that they've put in your hearts is all lies. You deserve your mom. You deserve a relationship with your mother. Nobody can tell you that you're not allowed to talk to me. Only evil people tell you that you're not allowed to talk to your mother. You can live with me, Caden, Colin, and Connor. I'll do anything and everything for you. My love never ever wavered. I love you, and I love your brothers. I hope you take it into your hearts. And I hope that you reach out to your mother and you don't let anybody stop you. I would just love to hear from you. It would mean everything and anything in this world. For my own 3 children, Connor, Caden, and Colin, to pick up the phone and say, Mom, I miss you. I love you, boys. You will always be in my heart. I love you so much. And I hope you never give up on your mom. Kisses. Connor, Caden, Colin. Look up Parental Alienation and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Parental. Alienation. Alienation. Look it up. You'll see for yourself. You're smart children. I love you.